Hi, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. You recognize me. I'm the host of Best of Us Investors. If you'll notice that we have changed, and the channel will continue to change as we adapt to what we feel I call YouTube Financial. We now have, 5 presenters. Kerry, me, Trent, my son, who has a different perspective. Wes, who is more of a trader, a swing trader, I would call him, that uses charts and graphs a lot. Mark, who is more of a down dirty numbers and how profitable is that stock going to be next week. And then Jacob, who's a young college student and writer for Seeking Alpha, and he's more interested in technical changing stocks and a little bit more on the riskier side. And that's what we're changing, and we're going to change in some other ways because I believe YouTube as a whole, YouTube Financial, is going to change dramatically. It must over the next couple years. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen that is going to be remarkably different relative to YouTube in the very near future. We want to be an information source. I say this over and over. We are not your financial advisor. We don't want to be your financial advisor. And as a matter of fact, I'm a retired financial advisor. Trent's a retired financial advisor. And Mark is retired from the financial industry. He was an executive in the financial industry. So we have a different perspective on what's going on in the stock market and what will be going on in the future. In this video, though, I'm not going to tell you the 6 stocks to buy this week. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm not. But I am going to tell you of some additional financial information that we'll be sharing with you over the coming months that I think will be part of what we want to achieve, and that is to help you make better financial decisions, expose you to the tools that we use to make good financial decisions that will make you a better investor, whatever your platform is. But first of all, let's get this written part out of the way, and let me get into what you can expect from us and how we think we can help you make better financial decisions in the coming months.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Grinkmeyer.
Okay, we had a meeting this morning where on Zoom we all sat down and we talked about the primary part of the meeting was to work collectively to help you find the tools that can help you make better financial decisions. We want to be one of those tools. We want to be your primary spot to come to find information as to where else you can go to make good financial decisions. We don't want to tell you which stocks to buy because we don't think we have that capability. Well, as a tribe, we collectively try to make better decisions, but to come on here, and I think you have all experienced this in the last several months, is that nobody can come on and say, buy this stock this week and you'll become wealthy. It just doesn't work that way. And if you think it does, you're critically mistaken, because there are other elements at play. Just like in the Wall Street Journal this morning, I read an article that said, hey, the Fed may not raise interest rates like they had planned to in March as a result of the skirmish going on between Russia and Ukraine. Wait a second. For the last 3 weeks, for the last 2 months, you've been telling us that the fact is that they are going to raise interest rates and they are going to slow down inflation. But wait a second, because of Russia invading Ukraine and Europe's turmoil, Inflation's going up higher, gas is going up higher, oil is going up higher. Wait a second. This is just to illustrate to you that on a day-to-day basis, nobody really knows what's going to happen in the stock market. So my theory is, and my philosophy is, don't play that game. I don't care. I do care that Russia is invading Ukraine because I think it's wrong. I think it's morally. I think it's ethically. I think it's mean. Can you imagine being forced out of your home and running to Poland or running to Mexico? Can you imagine Canada invading us and we have to run to Mexico to be safe? I can't imagine that. But that's what's going on. And as a result of that, other things are going to be different, and you aren't going to be able to predict what's going to happen in the stock market. So what do you do? To my way of thinking, you gather information, and you use the people on YouTube to be a source of information, and then you use the supporting elements like Stock Card, like Trading View, like Seeking Alpha, to feed you more information so that you can make the decision and so that you can educate yourself so that you make money and have a better life. That's what it's all about. Wes made the statement this morning, there is no way I could tell someone who has $5,000 what they need to do in order to turn that $5,000 into $10,000 over the next year by January of 2023. There is nothing I could tell them. Now, I might be able to tell them something that if they do this, this, and this, they could get it to 10,000, but there's just as good a chance that it will be nothing. Because, as he said, all I can do is give you my knowledge based on what I know today, but I didn't know 2 months ago that Russia was going to invade Ukraine. I didn't know in January of 2000 that a virus was going to take over the world and we were all going to go in quarantine. So you can't expect anybody on YouTube or any place else. All they can do is look at history and say, based on what I know and what I've learned from the past and what I see the current trends being and what I see the liquidity in the market being and the momentum of the market, I can advise you this is something that you might want to hold in your portfolio. But you want to diversify, and you probably don't want to hold anything with more than X percent. That's true investing, and that's risk management. That was the discussion we had this morning. The other part of the discussion we had this morning is there is more financial information that we can share with you, and we need to put it in front of you. And I brought up the topic of what if rather than every video be buy this, invest here, we said here's an infomercial. Here's an infomercial on if your credit isn't the perfect, where can you go to get a loan to buy your house? Would that be good information? Would that be good financial information if it was presented up front as financial information, as an infomercial? Not an enticement to buy anything, but just to give you knowledge. I have someone who has approached me that has indicated that they have a new platform that would allow you to put your IRA in cryptocurrency. Wait a second. Why would I put that on my YouTube channel? Because it's available. But wait, the government hasn't approved that yet. It's too high risky. But it is disinformation if I don't share it with you, if what you expect from me is good financial knowledge from which you can make a decision. That's where I want to take this channel. Now, I told you in the front of the video that I was also going to share with you where I think YouTube Financial is going. Someone's going to get sued. Yeah, someone who has come on repetitively and say, buy this stock, buy this stock. This is what's going to make you rich. Enough people are going to grab hands and come together and find a lawyer, and someone's going to get sued. And as a result of that, YouTube is going to have to make a decision as to what I can and cannot say on this channel. This is going to happen. As I said, I was in the financial industry. I know what compliance is. I know what it means when a bunch of suits show up in your office and they say, Kerry, you put on a meeting 3 weeks ago at a restaurant and you said this. You can't say that, Kerry, and we're going to fine you for that. And when I mentioned that, Trent said, yeah, I experienced that. And Mark said, yeah, I experienced. These are all three guys. All three of us came from the financial industry. At one point, it was the Wild West. It is not anymore. This is the Wild West. It will not be much longer. Trust me on this. And remember where you heard it first. We are not financial advisors. I gave up that license. To be a financial advisor, you have to have a license in every state in which you operate, and you have to follow some very strict rules put down mostly by the NASDA, the National Association of Financial Whatevers. So this is going to happen. And if you have been sucking on this tit of YouTube financial advice, thinking that you're going to get rich, shame on you. But shame on us or any YouTubers who present themselves as to having some form of current knowledge that is going to benefit you extraordinarily. Now, I happen to believe that I have found that the market is driven by change. And that if you will recognize the change and then find the facilitators of that change, you stand a better chance of benefiting and profiting sometime in the future. Is it today? Is it next week? Is it next month? Probably not. But for 16, 18 months, I have been telling you that the corona crisis is going to facilitate the greatest change that you have seen in the medical field in the history of mankind, much as the invention of the internet in 1998 created the biggest change that you have seen in commerce in the world from that point going forward. Much as social media was going to change the magazine, the newspaper, the communication industry as it has. The coronavirus is going to facilitate change. Is that financial advice? Not really. It's just sharing an observation. And then I went and I read. I read continuously. I've solicited other people to help me find those companies that are going to facilitate this change because I know the change is going to happen. Thus, then I go and try to find those companies and I share them with you. Is that financial advice? No. It is me sharing my knowledge, much as I tell you that oil is going to go away and it's going to be replaced by a disc on my roof with a lens made by probably ball jars. You remember them? They make the lens in the Hubble telescope. They'll probably make the lens that captures the energy from the sun and puts it in a battery in my garage that supplies all the energy I need for anything and everything I do. Is that financial advice? No. It's just making you aware that this is what's going to happen. And what I'm telling you that also is going to happen is YouTube Financial is going to change because somebody's going to get sued, because somebody is stepping over that line and you're getting hurt by it. And we have a group of, 100 senators, and I'm not sure right off the top of my head how many representatives up there that want to do nothing more than to protect you. So they will initiate some legislation that will come down on YouTube Financial like a ton of bricks. And Google, if you're not watching, or if you are watching, be aware of this. Get ahead of it, because it's going to happen. It's gotten too reckless out here. It is the Wild West. And as a result of the federal government's stupidity and throwing money at a bunch of novice investors last year, it blew up. It blew up. And those novice investors even said, we're going to take on Wall Street. And they did. And they won. And then they lost. And that's where we are today. That's where we are today. This isn't the Twilight Zone. This is real world. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm here for 3 reasons: to help you make better financial decisions, to teach you our tax code so that you can keep more of what you make. I hope you saw Sunday's video where I explained to someone they don't have to pay capital gains tax on the sale of their laundromat. And if you'll invest it this way, you can turn that $1.2 million into $11 million. That's financial information. That's not financial advice. Talk to you again tomorrow.